Davy Jones locker. Davy Jones locker. It's an idiom. It means the ocean's bottom, especially when regarded as the grave of all who perish at sea. In simple words, to drown or to go to the bottom of the sea. That is called Davy Jones locker. So, bottom of the sea is called Davy Jones locker. Let us see this in examples. The first one, the old pirate ended up in Davy Jones' locker. So, this old pirate died at the bottom of the sea. Second one, according to this newspaper report, the treasure is still in Davy Jones' locker. The treasure is still at the bottom of the sea. So, that's the reason he is still in Davy Jones' locker. Third one, tragically, many men from that battle in the Pacific Ocean are now in Davy Jones' locker. So many people died in the battle that happened on the Pacific Ocean and they are at the bottom of the sea right now. That's the reason now in Davy Jones' locker. Fourth one, caught out at sea during the hurricane, they thought they were heading for Davy Jones' locker. So they are caught in the middle of the hurricane and they were afraid that they would go to Davy Jones' locker, bottom of the sea. Fifth one, they were going to sail around the world but ended up in Davy Jones' locker. They started their journey to go around the globe, but finally they died and went to Davy Jones' locker. So, bottom of the sea. So, when we look at the origin of this idiom, Davy Jones' locker, although the idiom has been a part of the English language for well over 2 centuries, no one is really sure about its origin. Some scholars speculate that Davy Jones or David Jones was a fearsome pirate. One of the things that he did with his prisoners was to make them walk the plank. In other words, he threw them overboard while they were in the middle of the ocean. Result? The prisoners invariably drowned. Another theory is that David Jones was the owner of a pub who often drugged his unsuspecting patrons and sold them off as slaves to ship owners. And the theory that most people are comfortable with is the following. Jones is actually from Jonah, and Davy is a corruption of the West Indian word dupi, meaning ghost or devil. So, Davy Jones is actually the spirit of the sea or the sailor's devil. So, finally, whatever might be the theory, Davy Jones' locker is nothing but to drown at the sea or to go to bottom of the sea.